What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Design Lounge. Today is Friday, and that means it's time for another logo redesign. Today I'm going to be redesigning the Campbell soup logo, and I'm not looking forward to it because this is an iconic logo that's been used in art throughout the decades. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have the masterful solution to redesign the Campbell soup logo, but I am going to give it a shot just to see what I can do. Before I get started, please remember to hit like and subscribe at the bottom, and also click the bell for notifications to be notified of all new content. Now, let's redesign this logo. Alright, so I'm now here in Adobe Illustrator, and I have pulled up the Campbell's logo history. So let's just kind of take a look at this real quick. This one right here, 2021, so they actually did just rebrand, and it's, I mean, I'm not, this is really my first time looking at this because I don't really buy Campbell's soup, but I am looking at this really for the first time and just kind of thinking to myself that I'm not a big fan of like a couple of things here. I mean, like I don't mind this, like the detachment right here, this little part of the C, and then also like this little B right here. I don't mind it too much, but what I don't like is how none of the letters are actually connected to each other. This is supposed to be written in a script font, and the letters are, ideally they should be connected to one another. So that's definitely something that I'm going to look for whenever I'm looking for fonts for this redesign. And then going back, as you can see right here, 2003 to 2021, 2000 to 2003, and like even going all the way back to the 1950s. For the most part, they've been using the same font, and like they've just done a couple of little updates here and there. Like they added a little drop shadow, they changed the E from this to this, and then they went back to to kind of like the uppercase E and everything. But now all of the letters are completely detached from each other, and it just kind of, I don't know, just in my opinion, it looks lazy. It looks like, they just kind of like, it almost looks like they just typed it out in a regular font and then just skewed it. Just like kind of like a faux italic. But I would say that probably my favorite out of all of them is probably this one, the 1953 to 2000. It's probably because I grew up with that. Obviously I'm not too big of a fan of this one here, the one from 1898 to 1953, because it does look a little bit vertically squashed. And then if you go even further back, all the way back to 1895, this is just completely unrecognizable. So I'm not going to use anything from the top three rows right here, but you obviously still want to make it recognizable. So sorry for the rant there. I didn't plan on doing that. I just went a little bit overboard when I was just kind of talking about the logo history. I don't think I've ever gone that far in really analyzing the past logos before, but I thought it was kind of fun. So let me know what you think about that. If you like the analysis before I do the redesign, then let me know down in the comments and I'll be sure to do that. But if you want me to just get on with it,
yes, get on with it,
then just say get on with it. All right, so what I'm going to do now is let's switch over to Adobe Fonts, and I'm just gonna kind of look through here, and because Adobe Fonts takes its sweet time to activate, I am going to wait to set the timer until the fonts are actually activated, because I guess technically finding a font would be part of the actual design process, but I count the design process when I actually start designing with the font. So I know that it's kind of up in the air. It's a matter of opinion, but that's what I'm going with. All right, so let's do this. I want to add a couple of things here. I definitely want it to be a nice bold script font. And I'd like the width of the characters to be, kind of like a standard width. I don't want anything too narrow. And then contrast, I don't really care too much about selecting a parameter for contrast. So I'm just going to kind of see what's going on here and see if anything jumps out at me. Ideally, I'd like to find, 2 to 3 different ones to kind of play around with. But there's only 5 pages here. So let's just kind of see what we've got. In terms of what we can do. This Pauline font is interesting. I think that you could probably still make it, kind of recognizable for the brand itself. So I might try something with that, although that does completely run against everything I said earlier about the script letters needing to connect with each other. But since this one obviously, you know, it's a script font, but it's a straight up and down font. It's not a cursive font, so it is possible that could work. Casey is interesting right here, mainly because of its boldness, but it just looks a little bit too cliche for it. So I'm trying to just kind of see what I can do with what we have here. Let me see. What was that? Pauline. Let me write that down on my trusty pen and paper that I've got in 2022. So many ways to take a note, and here I am just writing it down. 90s kid, sorry. Okay. Let's see here. This one's interesting. I actually kind of like this one. What is it? Confiteria script. Okay, so there's that, and then I want to try to find one more. Let's try to find one that actually is a slanted cursive font. Alkaline is interesting, but I'm not too sold on it, but we'll see what is left. We'll just kind of see what's left over. Parkside is cool, although it does feel a little bit cliche, kind of like the Casey font a minute ago. Okay, so there's nothing there at all that's jumping out at me. So it's really between Parkside, which I'm not really sold on, and Alkaline. So let's try Alkaline. So I'm gonna go ahead and activate both of these, and let's go over to Illustrator and see if they are activated yet. Sorry, I had to write down Alkaline as well. If I don't write it down, I won't remember it. Let's see. Did I try? Let's see. Pauline. I'm already forgetting if I chose the third one or not. There we go. Confiteria script. All right, and hopefully I didn't butcher that. Okay, so let me put the cat back on the pen, and we'll see if they have activated, and if so, we'll go ahead and get started. Let's go to Illustrator, which is, there we go. Oh, I got the spinning wheel. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're good. Perfect. All right, so, no, I don't want a box. I want the actual text itself. Okay, let's see. All right, perfect. So looks like all of these may have already updated. So I'm gonna go here. Let me do this then. All right, so I have 20 minutes to rebrand Campbell's. Okay, so let's do this, and let's go ahead and just get them all on the screen for now. Definitely don't want to do the all caps version. This one right here, this Alkaline, is kind of reminding me of that. What's that store? Begins with a C. I can't think of it. It's kind of like an Eddie Bauer type of store, like an outdoor store. I can't remember the name of it. Okay, so out of these three right here, like after seeing them all typed out, I think what I'm going to do first, just to keep with recognizability, I'm going to start with Alkaline. Okay, and then, you know, if you've seen my previous videos, you know that there's not too much that you can do when it comes to script fonts in terms of kerning, because they're specifically designed to, you know, flow into one another. And if you start messing with that, like if you were to change it to optical, you can see that, you know, some of these things actually just kind of come apart and everything, and you don't want to do that. But at the same time, you know, you don't want to just leave it at auto and call it done either. So let me see if we can just kind of bring this in a little bit. I don't think with this font, with this letter combination and the apostrophe there, I don't think there's an actual way to connect that L and the S. So what if we did this? Let's set everything to auto again. There's not really a lot of room there, but I just want to at least try and see if maybe we can squeeze in an apostrophe right here. The placement of that is kind of interesting, but then it just ends up looking like an accent mark. So I don't think that we actually have space to do that. Okay, so it's not the worst thing in the world, you know, but we do have this alternate S, and I definitely think that I'm gonna go with that. because I actually like that a lot. So let's bring it close, but not too close. Okay. I'm going to make a copy of that just in case I want to come back to it for whatever reason. Let's go ahead and create outlines. Go to Pathfinder and Unite. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to directly sample that color right there. Okay. So I'd like to add, let's see what they've got. I'd like to maybe add something. Yeah, you got the Campbell's condensed tomato soup, but maybe something like maybe something just kind of like adding the title of the soup or something like that, and maybe with maybe with this we could just go with maybe a serif type. And that's really just to kind of call back to their current logo and the way that they've got the branding and everything. That's definitely too the font itself is just getting a little bit too wide for me. All right, so let's center that, and sometimes a font will look completely different if you do all small caps. So just keep that in mind. And at this point, I'm kind of breaking outside of the Campbell's branding, and I'm really just kind of going a little bit more into overall branding. But I don't want to spend too much time on doing this because I want to see what those other fonts look like as well. So I think that you know, this obviously needs to go on the can itself. So so we're just gonna ignore that for now, and I'll just go ahead and get rid of this because I need to get moving on with these other two here. Okay, so I'd say that between the other two, this one's probably my favorite. Let's see if we can. You know what? Instead of doing that and spending too much time on making that work, since these don't actually connect with each other, I'd like to try this out and see what we can do with it. Because the thing is, it's not necessarily the fact that the font, that the letters don't connect to each other. It's that, you know, if you are gonna make it to where they don't connect with each other, then just change the font. You know, just go completely different, and something that still kind of calls back to the original branding. So these scripts and these kind of flourishes that are going on here, and the rounded corners, rounded edges, and everything, it definitely does call back to the original branding. And you know, with something like this, if you had to do something, you could do like a shear. I know I'm kind of breaking my own rules here, but you could do something like that where you just kind of add a shear to it at the end. But I'm not going to do that. So I guess I'm not really breaking my own rules. I'm just suggesting that you could. So all right, so I'm just going to do this and just have this. There's something about, let's see if there's any alternate glyphs here. Probably not. Like, you know, usually with a font like this, there's not. Well, there is one here. There's a little B. It's got a little curly Q there. The L also has the curly Q, but I think it might be a little bit too much. Yeah, so I think we'll just leave that. Let's see what the S. Nope, no alternates. So this one right here, like, you know, like it kind of ties into the whole, like, you know, noodle soup thing. You know, it's kind of like a little noodle or whatever, but obviously they're known for their tomato soup. So we're not necessarily going to sell that aspect of that, but I do want to just kind of see what happens if we do make these letters touch. May or may not work, but I just want to try it. You know, we can't make all of them touch, obviously, but just ones that are kind of leading in, you know, like just kind of have those serifs at the bottom where they're obviously leading into another character, and just kind of see what happens there. So I don't hate this. The only thing that I'm not a big fan of is just kind of how this dips right here and then just goes right into here. What I would do here, let me set this aside. and then we can create outlines for this one. And then let's go ahead and unite that together. And what I would do here is grab this little point and then just round. Oops. And I got the spinning wheel. Why am I getting the spinning wheel so much? All right, here we go. So just do this, and I'll just do like 0.03. There we go. And I'm not, let's see, what would happen if we went all the way? Okay, yeah, that's definitely better. So if we were to do something like that, then it's obvious that, it's meant to go directly into that next letter. So it looks a little bit more, custom. So, okay, this I actually like. I actually do like this a lot. The fact that these connect and these don't, normally that would bother me, but for some reason it's not really bothering me now. So, I'd like to try just kind of moving the baseline up just a little bit and really, really like kind of maybe even enlarging the C just a little bit and see what we can do there. See what we can do there. You like that? All of my fellow dads out there. Okay. So that's interesting. I actually do like that. And I could, very easily see that on a can of soup versus this, actually, because like, now let's go to optical alignment and see what happens there. So basically, all right. So the difference here is that it's obvious that this was, this, I mean, obviously it's not like I spent tons of time on it, but I did spend time on it, getting those letters to connect to each other and just, really working with the type itself rather than just typing it out and calling it done. And that shows, even though I selected optical kerning right there, you can still tell that looking at this, there was time spent on the one on the right. So, and then on the left. So just keep that in mind whenever you're doing like a logo, whenever you're typing anything out that has anything to do with typography, definitely go in. I don't care if it's Helvetica. I don't care if it's, Helvetica bold. Go in and adjust your kerning. Even if you're just gonna, even if you're going to just do a little bit, because a little bit really can go a long way. So I think so far, I really do like this configuration of the font Pauline. So let me check my time and see how much time I've got. So I've got 10 minutes, sorry. So I'm good. Let's see here. Let's move this over to the side. And let's see if there's anything we can do with this one, because I was kind of like when I saw this one in the browser window in Adobe Fonts, I actually really liked it a lot. But now that I'm seeing it typed out here, I'm not too sure about it. And it's mainly because it's already designed to be connected together, and there's something about the way these letters are connected that it's not really thrilling me right now. But I do want to see if there's anything I can do. So already I really like that S. So that's pretty cool. So it's obvious that this font does have alternate glyphs. So let's see what we can do. Even just changing some of those out. Okay, so I like that so far. I think I'll just kind of start at the end and then just kind of bring this in. So I do like those L's right there. Let's see what we got for the E. So the E, this right here, like I'm not really a big fan of this. It is a little bit too tall for me. So I think that, but it does call back to their existing branding. So, but I am just gonna leave it like that because I like that one better. So this right here, definitely like the curlies on this one. Whoa, that's interesting. Why? Okay. All right. Nope, definitely gonna keep them all connecting to each other with the exception, of course, of the L to the S, because it just can't be done. Okay. All right. So we made a couple of adjustments there, and I actually really like this a lot. The only problem that I foresee with it, let me change it to red real quick just to see if it makes a difference. Okay. It kind of did a little bit, like for the recognizability and everything. But the only thing that I really see with it is just, it may be a little bit hard to read because it is very bold. Some of those, like, it's not the worst that I've ever seen in terms of the curly cues, like one letter leading into the next. But it is a little bit heavy. Let me see if there are any other weights There are, but if you if you're seeing what I'm seeing, then you know what I'm about to say. Why does this why does this curly Q right here have an opening and this one does not? There's something about the way that B is looking that it just looks broken. So, and it doesn't matter which one. Like they both just look broken. And there's also a little bit too much space between the M and the P. So let's see if there's anything we can do with that. It is still connecting with the A. Okay, so this is good. I would just kind of bring it. It's still a little bit too. So if we do this, just kind of open it up right here. And let's see, as far as the spacing goes, I like that, but they need to be connecting. So no issue there. What we can do, let's see if there's anything else. So as far as the spacing goes everywhere else, I am pretty happy with it, but before I create outlines, I just want to make sure. Okay. So I'm happy with everything else. I just wanted to get the space tightened up between the apostrophe and the S. So let's go ahead and unite. And we'll just kind of we'll just grab these two anchor points right here. Well, actually, I don't think I'm going to grab the anchor points themselves. I'm just going to have it lead directly into, and just kind of see how that looks before I combine. Okay, I like that. All right, so now let's select it all, unite, and then we could do the same thing that we did earlier, just kind of have these, just kind of have it do something like that. I think it might be a little bit too much, so let's just kind of back it off a little bit. We can do the same thing on both sides. Okay, all right, so I am happy with that. Although I do have to say, like, this one is still my favorite. All right, so combine everything, and I just want to see what it looks like if I break my own rule and just kind of do like a faux shear. Okay, that I actually like a lot. So like it's not the worst in the world, really. It just kind of, like, you can break your own rules, you can break the traditional rules of typography, you just got to make sure that you break them the right way. So like with their existing logo, let's kind of take a look at this real quick. They're obviously, like this font, it looks like it was designed to be connected, but they're not connected. And then because of that, it looks like a non-script font. So it looks like they just took a non-script font that was not meant to be connected to that was meant to be connected but not connected, and then just did like a faux shear here. So we did do a faux shear or faux italic or fake italic or whatever on this one, but this is to a font that is meant to be connected and is actually connected in terms of the letters. So I think that, even though it's still very different from what they've had since 1898. I think that probably out of all of these, the most recognizable is probably this one. But my personal favorite, I actually do like this one, and I'd like to see like a full branding, and just kind of like, with mock-ups and everything like that. I don't know. Maybe I should start doing. Maybe I should start including those. Like mock-ups or something, and like full branding elements as part of these videos. If you want me to do that, let me know down in the comments. And let's go ahead and unite this together as one shape. How am I doing on time? Okay, I still got 4 minutes left. All right. Maybe I can just see what I can do here, because like I'm not really a firm believer in every logo has to be completely flat. So let's see what happens if we just kind of grab that color from this old tomato soup box right here, and just kind of make it like a shadow. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do a gosh, what is it called? A long shadow? I can't remember the name of the name of the shadow. Not a perspective shadow. I don't remember. Sorry. I'll just call it like a continuous shadow. So, and of course we still have that little gap right there, but we can take care of that. The dreaded, oh wait, I forgot to expand it. There, yeah, there we go. Expand all of that, which is a lot, and then just close up that little gap. with this guy right here, and then send him to the back. Okay. And then, are there any other gaps? I don't see any other gaps. So what you could do here, like you could leave it just like this, but as you can see, you've got a lot of individual shapes right here, as shown by these outlines. But what you could do is select everything there that's that orange color, and then go over here to Pathfinder in Unite. But make sure you have plenty of RAM before you do that, because it can take a long time to unite those together. Even if you've only got like 20 of them, for some reason it just takes forever to combine those together. But I just wanted to just kind of try that one out and see. All right, so let's see here how it looks when it's scaled down to very small sizes. So when it's scaled down to very small sizes, you can still recognize it. So sorry, excuse me. So definitely part of good branding and everything. So let's ungroup all of this and then just isolate the C by itself, and just kind of see what we can do here with the C. Sorry, I'm in full dad mode. I was playing with my kids right before I came up here, so I'm in full dad mode with the full dad mode jokes, all of it, for your entertainment pleasure. So for something like this, you could easily do like a favicon, and at this point I'm really just kind of playing just to kind of run out the rest of the time. Might as well utilize the time to do some kind of like branding elements or something like that. Okay, so that right there, like I would still do that same type of shadow that I did just a second ago for this, but really I'm just kind of playing around. But let's see. Let me think on this real quick. Let's go back to alkaline for a second, and let's see what we can do. I don't think there's any alternate glyphs with this. There may be. What is that? That's interesting. Okay. I could really go down a rabbit hole with that one. Let's go with auto for all of this and see. Looks like there are some alternate glyphs, but it looks like it might break. Yeah, it's actually breaking. Okay, so what it is, it's alternate glyphs that are meant to not connect the letters together. It looks like. So if you want to use them kind of by themselves, which is in line with what Campbell's is doing right now with their current logo. They're just, oh, there's my timer. Okay, let me turn that off real quick. Okay, so out of everything that I've put together, okay, let's just kind of do like a recap here. I think that as far as recognizability goes, that this one right here, the alkaline font in heavy weight, is probably the most recognizable for the Campbell's brand itself. However, I could easily see this one, which is Pauline, could easily see this one being adopted as well, and just kind of just really completely rebranding and kind of carrying the Campbell's brand forward. It is nice, however, it's none of it is as recognizable as the Campbell's script font itself, no matter what iteration that they're using, because this is classic. It's like American classic. They'll probably never completely fully rebrand, and there's really nothing wrong with that. It's kind of similar to the Coca-Cola logo. You just don't want them to completely rebrand and go with a completely different direction because it is so iconic. But in summary, I think that this one is my personal favorite. I do like Pauline a lot, but it's too bad that we didn't really get to do too much with Confiteria. But I think that, so I think overall that one is my favorite. So which one is your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. All right, well, thanks a lot for watching me redesign the Campbell Soup logo. That was challenging. And then, like at the end of everything that I did, I looked at the current logo and I just realized no, like nothing that I can do in 20 minutes is going to come close to the iconic design of that of the Campbell's logo that they've got right now. So it's really kind of all for naught, but it's still fun to to try to rebrand and see what you can come up with. So I hope you liked the video. Please let me know what you think of it in the comments. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe at the bottom, and also click the bell for notifications to be notified of all new content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.